many instances in history wherein even the most ferocious animal became friendly to a pure devotee of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Om Jnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Melitamena Tasme Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarani. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Once again, welcome you all, and also once again my sincere thank you to all the coordinators who given me this opportunity. So maybe my humble request to all of you, please bless me. Please shower your blessings so that I can speak a few words for the pleasure of all the assembled devotees and the Guru Parampara. And also, I don't concoct anything. So please shower your mercy. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyevacha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo nama ananta koti vaishnavrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. So we'll read one by one slokas and purport from the Srila Prabhupada's purport. Whatever points I could point out, I'll just try to discuss. Of course, it's open to all to contribute. We can make note of any mistakes I do. Please correct me at the end or in between. You can stop me. So the background is like this. The chapter named Pregnancy of Diti, the evening. Vidura is asking Maitreya about the Lord's pastimes in this. Kashyapa and Diti, because of Diti's kind of desire, so they perform kind of a forbidden act. In that, the Kashyapa says, "Oh, haughty one, you will have two contemptuous sons born of your condemned womb. Unlucky woman, they will cause constant lamentation to all the three worlds." So this is the kind of Kadama's kind of vision, or Kadama is foretolding. No, it's going to happen like this. So we can see how the great sages are, giving the future. We can see in the Ramayana also how Valmiki, writing Ramayana even before Ramayana happening. Whatever written is happened in future. Similarly, if you see Bhagavatam, whatever Vyasadeva is written, actually later on the discussion happening between whether Vidura and Maitreya, or Uddhava and Maitreya, are all the pastimes he has written before that. That means that the vision of the great sages. So Kashyapa is also not kind of a ordinary person; is a great personality. So he's telling what's going to happen. So he says, you'll have two sons. They are very, very notorious and demons. Of course, we all know the pastimes of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. We are not getting to that. And further, he says that Supreme Lord will kill these, demons. And out of the one son, the son of that son will become a great devotee. Now he's talking about that son. What will be the quality of the devotee? Who is none other than Prahlad Maharaj. So in this particular verses onwards, Kashyapa is explaining the great qualities of this, devotee, who is Prahlad. So the translation, he says, everyone will be pleased with him because the personality of Godhead, supreme controller of the universe, is always satisfied with the devotee who does not wish for anything beyond him. So here, maybe as a discussion, I know we are all practicing devotees, so generally when we speak Bhagavatam, we all should see what is the takeaway for me, personal application. So this is the purpose of reading Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada says we should read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita scrutinizingly. That means I should get out of something. It's not for time pass, That's why we'll, for my own purification, will try to see what the point we can learn from this. We'll keep note of it. So here in the translation it says, a devotee who does not wish for anything beyond him. So this is the first point we can understand as a practicing devotees. We should not wish anything beyond me. Means that I should wish anything for me. Everything should be the Supreme Lord. So again comes who is devotee. This is a kind of general discussion many time. One of the acharyas says that when we address someone, we normally say that we devotees, they are non-devotees. They are karmis, materialistic. That's the kind of word. But the acharya says no. They are all devotees. I'm not the only one not devotee. I'm the only one karmi. That should be the mood in which we should approach, because I will not have the qualification to claim myself a devotee, but I should respect everyone as a devotees. The same kind of instruction Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives in Trinadapi Sunichan also, Amane Namanadena. So that's kind of understanding we should have. So, but that devotee never expects anything for him. We can see this in Prahlad Maharaj's pastimes also later, when Lord Narasimhadeva asked him, what do you want? He doesn't ask anything. Instead of that, he says, please, possible, please forgive my father. So like that, the great personalities, they don't ask anything. So in the sloka, it says, prasadhat, mercy of. So because of the Supreme Lord's mercy, whatever a devotee does is because of him. So that is another understanding we should have. Nothing can happen with my strength, my intelligence, my power. It's because of Supreme Lord's mercy or other Vaishnava's mercy. More than Supreme Lord's mercy, Vaishnava's mercy is important. So that prasadat. So when we normally say mercy, this is the kind of understanding that mercy is something which I don't deserve. Just to give a very, very, normal example. If you have a dog at home, the pet dog, the dog, whenever the hungry, he barks and the owner, master gives food, because dog has a right to ask, because it's a pet dog. It demands. Whereas a street dog has no right to ask anything. But if you throw some biscuit to the street dog, that is a mercy you are giving. Similarly, for me, I don't have any right to ask anything from the Lord. But if I get anything from the Lord or devotees, that is a mercy, which I don't deserve, because I, as a person, doesn't deserve anything, because I am such a kind of a criminal, I should say that, because that is the reason I'm in this material world. That's the mood in which I should. Even Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, such a great personality who wrote whole Chaitanya Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita. He says, I'm equivalent to worm in the stool. See the mood of such great personalities. Now, this is the kind of a mood we as practicing devotees should develop. That is what will lead us to the next level of bhakti. Because in, I think, first canto, fourth chapter, one of the verse purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, bhakti or the devotional service starts at the time of liberation, he says. See, our bhakti or devotional service starts at the time of liberation. So whatever we are doing till now, it's a kind of a apprentice, or the training. Like when you join a corporate, they give us a three months training, 3 months apprenticeship. That's it. My actual work starts from there. That's the mood in which I should develop. So the mercy of the Lord and mercy of the devotee is important, and that's what we should hanker for it. We should serve ourselves so that we should get mercy. So also Prabhupada says here, Swadrak, taking special care of his devotee. Supreme Lord always takes care of his devotees, irrespective of that, whether devotee or is atheist, is a criminal, but Supreme Lord doesn't ignore them. He gives all the care. But of course, as a devotee, he has got a special care. So that's why Prabhupada says taking special care. He gives everything, necessities of life he gives. But for a devotee, he gives a special care. So we should aspire, but we should not demand. We should have a hankering to serve that Supreme Lord and his devotees so that his mercy comes. That prasad, that's what we should, kind of have a desire to have it. So that comes only when we start serving. The service to Supreme Lord is the key point here. So then we get a special care. So with this, we'll move on to the some other points in the purport. So Prabhupada, says that, of course, the devotees can see the screen, right? So I shared it here. So because he would have no other vision besides the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we get this mercy, or when we get this prasad, when we don't have no other vision other than Supreme Lord, that is a mood in which that pure devotee. So sometimes this pure devotee is kind of a misunderstood word. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says that, who is that pure devotee? He says, whoever chants Krishna's name once is a pure devotee. so, so can I claim myself as a pure devotee? No. so but everybody else is a pure devotee except me. So that's the kind of a mood I should have. So but everybody else we should respect, we should honor as a pure devotee, whoever taken Krishna's name once. Of course, later Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives a more detailed definition. But for us, the level should be that pure devotee is that. But Lord is there for everyone's heart. He understands what is my desire, what I am aspiring for it, what is good for me. So accordingly, he gives the right thing to the right person. So further, Prabhupada writes here that the Lord is present in the hearts and can dictate to them to be friendly to his devotees. So this is another point we can learn. We should be friendly to his devotees. So when we are meaning that friendly, we should not offend any other devotees. So again, we should be very careful here. Other devotees, every devotees, whoever chanted once is a devotee. So we should not offend at any cost, whether physically, mentally, or verbally. So because that's what will put me down. Actually, last 2 days we were attending Vaishnavaninda seminar by His Grace Radhabhadra Priya Prabhu. So it was based on Vaishnavaninda book, is Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So the point here that he clearly saying, Prabhupada saying that we should not at any time, offend the devotees of the Lord. We should be friendly with the Lord. So Prabhupada in the purport finally says there are many instances of history where even the most ferocious animals became friendly with the pure devotees of Lord. So we know Chaitanya Lila, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, when we were passing through the Jharkhand forest, how the wild animals were sitting and dancing, with the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and also the wild animals and the ordinary animals, they were all together, like tiger, lamb, tiger, and other the animals who are supposed to be the food for each other are all dancing together. So this is the instance happens, in the Chaitanya Lila. Similarly, we know how pastime of Haridas Thakura. When he was chanting in the cave, there was a snake, poisonous snake. The villagers were kind of, anxious. What will happen? Haridas is sitting and chanting there. As soon as the snake realized Haridas sitting and chanting, snake just left from there. So that's how even the wild animal reciprocates, because Paramatma is there in the heart of every living entity. Paramatma reciprocates. So with this, we'll move on to the next point. Yeah. Okay. So we also mentioned, kind of discussed that we should be equal to all. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne we studied. The humble stage is by virtue of knowledge, see with equal vision of every living entity, gentle Brahmana, cow, elephant, dog, or dog eater. That's kind of a understanding we should have. But at the same time, we would have studied that, we should understand the level of that jiva in that body. Understanding that we have to treat each living entity in that particular aspect. Otherwise, for example, how we treat a devotee, we cannot treat a lion or tiger. In the sense, I cannot go and embrace lion, tiger. Or within the devotees also, depending upon their level of consciousness, we should respect, honor, or offer the puja. For example, for a neophyte, maybe we can pay respect mentally, but maybe devotee, we should honor him. Whereas senior devotees or great Vaishnavas, we do Pada Puja and offer all the humble obeisances. So depending upon the living entities, the level of consciousness, we should kind of respect and honor. So when we talk about a special care, I just remembered, mentioned here. So Ananta Alvar, the Sripad Ramanujacharya's disciple, the great disciple, we know his pastimes, like how he was doing a garland. I know all those pastimes will be knowing it. So he actually literally hit, Shri Balaji, who has come in the form of boy, and that the pickaxe or what is kept in even in Tirupati even today. So that's how the Lord reciprocates. Lord don't mind get hit by his devotees because he want to serve his devotee. Same Anantalvar, when he became old, he was on the bed and he was passing stool and urine, and the boy comes daily and cleans. So Anantalvar realized this boy is not an ordinary boy, Balaji himself. And Anantal was crying, why did Lord, why are you doing this? You put me into this situation that I can't move anywhere. Now you come and do service for me. But see the Balaji's mood, see the Lord's mood. Lord want to serve his devotees. So what is the lesson for me in this? I should develop that mood. How can I serve, my fellow devotees? Similarly, we know Narottam Das Thakur, how he served his spiritual master. This is a mood in which we should kind of develop our consciousness so that we can progress in our bhakti. So we'll move on to the next sloka. Somebody can read.
Sindhu Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Pranam Sutri. 47, 48.
48,
Seven.
Mataji.
48.
Savai Bhagavato Mahatma Mahanubhavo Mahatam Mahishtaha Prabhridha Bhaktya hi Anubhavita Shaye Niveshya Vaikuntam Imam Vihashyati.
Can read the translation, somebody.
Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. That topmost devotee of the Lord will have expanded intelligence and expanded influence and will be the greatest of the great souls. Due to mature devotional service, he will certainly be situated in transcendental ecstasy and will enter the spiritual sky after quitting this material world.
Yeah, so here again, Kashyapa is explaining the qualities of Prahlad, who will be there. Now, what is a lesson for me here? Again, I should aspire to imbibe those qualities. That topmost devotee of the Lord will have expanded intelligence. Again, as a practicing devotees, I should develop that expanded intelligence. He talks about Mahabhagavata, topmost devotee. When we know Bhagavata, we know that, book Bhagavata, person Bhagavata. Book Bhagavata, Shrimad Bhagavata. Person Bhagavata is that personality who always, always carrying Supreme Lord in his heart and his actions, words. That Bhagavata, and he will have a expanded intelligence, Mahatma. So here the Mahatma and Mahatma 2 times is repeated. Mahatma is expanded intelligence who has got his intelligence is expanded in multiple variations, so that everything is used for Krishna service. That Mahatma, of course, later he says that Mahatma is different. So when you talk about, Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna talks about who is that Mahatma. So he says that great soul, due to matured devotional service, will certainly situate in transcendental ecstasy. Matured devotional service. When we read Srila Prabhupada's books or Srila Prabhupada's words, we can see each and every word has got significance and relevance to that particular point. That's the most important point. We can see that. No, he says due to mature devotional service. It doesn't say devotional service. So what is that we can learn from this? Our devotional service has to be matured. Sometime we are practicing, but are we really matured level? So what is the level of maturity? We can read Nectar of Devotion. It mentions what is the level of devotional service will grow, and further says here, certainly be situated transcendental ecstasy. That's ecstasy level we should reach. And of course, later when we quit this body, we can go back to Supreme Lord. Okay. Now, purport, somebody can read.
Chandana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There are three stages of transcendental development in devotional service, which are technically called Sthayi Bhava, Anubhava, and Mahabhava. Continual perfect love of Godhead is called Sthayi Bhava, and when it is performed in a particular type of transcendental relationship, it is called Anubhava. But this stage of Mahabhava is visible amongst the personal pleasure potential energies of the Lord. It is understood that the grandson of Diti, namely Prahlad Maharaj, would constantly meditate on the Lord and reiterate his activities. Because he would constantly remain in meditation, he would easily transfer himself to the spiritual world after quitting his material body. Such meditation is still more conveniently performed by chanting and hearing the holy name of the Lord. This is especially recommended in this age of Kali. Thank you, Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. So here Prabhupada talks about three stages: Sthayi Bhava, Anubhava, and Mahabhava. Just to, I'm not a technical person here. Just to take that point, in Chaitanya Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, Sloka 180 onwards, this kind of explanation given. I'll just read those points here. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu giving instruction to Rupa Goswami. Ekasabha Krishna Bhakti Rasera Sthai Bhava Mile Yadi Vibhava Anubhava. So all these stages combined is called Sthai Bhava, or continuous love of Godhead in devotional service. In addition to these stages, there are Vibhava and Anubhava. Now, in the previous verse, Mahaprabhu explains what happens when somebody gets into the bhava, or the kind of a transcendental mood. So the changes in the body happens, whether trembling or tears or laughing, crying, all this happens. So, but when they are kind of done in a complete devotion, this called Sai Baba. Prabhupada in the purport explains that the attachment to Krishna never wanes. It increases more and more as one attains a different stage. All these together are called Sthai Bhava, or continuous existence. The 9 forms of devotional services: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. When continuous love of Godhead is mixed with the process of devotional service, it is called Vibhava, Anubhava, Satvika, and Vaibhachari. So this is the level Srila Prabhupada explaining, and then Prabhupada says, devotee thus enjoys a variety of transcendental bliss in Amrita Pravruddha Bhasya. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura states that Anubhava can be divided into 13 categories. Different categories is mentioned here, like dancing, rolling, and so the point is that different levels are there. So for us, what is important is that we have to develop the bhakti. We don't have to worry about my external ecstasy. That is a lesson we should learn. Prabhupada's Leelam and Prabhupada's pastimes also, many times we can hear Prabhupada, many times while giving lecture, certain topics, he will either go into the trance or he stop speaking. But he never would have expressed outside. When the devotees asked, Prabhupada said, that's okay. He'll not discuss, because that's the mood, in which I should not kind of unnecessarily kind of show my emotions, saying that I developed the bhakti, because the imitation should not be done. There was some instance in Srila Haridas Thakur's pastime also, when Haridas Thakur was kind of expressing this kind of bhava. There are devotees, devotees or people try to do that, and they realized the real, the position of the devotee. So the lesson for me is that I should not be bothered about my bhavas, but how dedicated I am, how sincere I am serving my fellow devotees, my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. That is important. All the other aspects, it's a byproduct. It will come. I don't have to worry for that. So that's why Prabhupada in the purport finally says, such meditation still more conveniently performed by chanting and hearing the holy name of the Lord. This is especially recommended in this age of Kali. So for us, what is important is chant the holy name nicely. Like Srila Prabhupada said, chant attentively. Yesterday in the seminar also, the Prabhu was mentioning what is the attentive chanting, how focused we should be, because this Vaishnava Ninda and the aparadha against the holy name is who generally go hand in hand, or Vaishnava Ninda is the cause for nama aparadha. So this both in the previous verse, Prabhupada talks about we should respect every devotee. We should be friendly with the devotee. Here he says we have to chant nicely. So both should happen. So for that, the first aspect, I should be able to serve my fellow devotees without any enviness, without any kind of hatred. Because generally, there is a difference between sin and offense, right? So sin, if I do, I can get prashita, I can get some relief, but offense is very difficult, not possible. So even if I kill an animal, it will be sin, but if I offend a devotee, it will be offense. It's a kind of aparadha. So aparadha is more grievous than papa. So I should be very, very careful on that. That's why the chanting the holy name sincerely, attentively, with the love will happen only when I start developing that taste for the holy name. When I start, developing the taste happens when I stop offending my fellow devotees and other devotees. That offense can happen either physically, verbally, or even mentally also. Many times my experience. So when we start chanting, that's the time only all the thought process comes, all the process of that devotee, he did like this, he devotee like this, everything, my all planning happens that time, because mind is such a dangerous uh, personality who influences me in so many things. So that's the reason the chanting time, I have to bring my mind back. Tell the bloody mind, please be aware of your job. Your job is just to hear the holy name, not to go anywhere. That's the kind of thought process I should have. That's why the chanting the holy name is given such an important point here. So Prabhupada talks about Mahabhagavata and also Mahatma and Mahanubhava and Anubhavita, being situated in an Anubhava stage of ecstasy. So this is the qualities of Prahlad is kind of explained here. So we'll move on to the this point we discussed. So is also, yeah, okay. These are the few points mentioned. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Hai Amrita Aswadane. In the next verse, Madhyalila 181. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, when a higher standard of excited love is mixed with a symptom of sattvika or vebachari, the devotee reaches the transcendental bliss of loving Krishna in a variety of nectar and taste. So that's level it goes. Finally, he says, these states are like a combination of yogurt, sugar candy, ghee, clarified butter, black pepper, camphor, as palatable as sweet nectar. When all these rasas join together, that is a nectar, that is a bhakti. No, in the previous words, 1979, 179, the Mahaprabhu says how a sugar cane, kind of come from the cane, sugar cane juice, from the juice, the kind of pulp is taken, juice taken, and finally the kind of sugar is developed. So same process here, finally the sweet nectar. So in our bhakti also, when we develop this kind of a bhakti with the bhava, with this very determined service to Supreme Lord, that final nectar we'll be able to, we can get it. So as we know, the Bhagavad Gita also talks about who is that great soul. He says, Bhavana Janmanante, that Mahatma Sudurlabha. So that Mahatma Krishna talks about, the great soul, is indeed very rare. So now we have the human body, and Krishna has given us this opportunity, knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada has given this complete the translation and purport so that we understand Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And Prabhupada has given us this ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, to understand and practice. So generally we say that like ISKCON is like a hospital. We are all deceased and we go, and there is gurus and seniors and our topmost doctor Srila Prabhupada. So they give us a treatment, they give us a medicine, is prasadam, the holy name, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, so that my disease gets purified, my the disease gets slowly reducing. So that is a purificatory process. That's what the ISKCON is doing. Like any hospital treats a body, here the whole consciousness gets treated, so that I become a kind of a practicing devotee, and I slowly become qualified to take up Krishna Bhakti nicely. So, but the point for us is that how we are strictly kind of be with the ISKCON, because many times what happens that staying with the devotee itself becomes difficult. In His Grace Jagashashi Prabhu, one of the lecture, he says that for a devotee, the greatest austerity is to stay with the devotee. So like for a karmi, an outsider, I'm not saying karmi, sorry, because they are also devotees. For those who are not staying in ISKCON, for them it's easy. Maybe tomorrow they can leave one group and go. For example, for Alliance Club, for example, member of Alliance Club, if he doesn't like some members, he'll go to that, he'll leave that branch and go to some other, or go to Rotary Club, Rotary Club, whatever. But once you come to ISKCON, Krishna will not leave us. Once you come to Krishna's lotus feet, Krishna will not leave us. So we cannot go anywhere. We are bound, we are married. So we are forever here. But the difficulty is that, the austerity is that staying with the God, staying with the devotees. So here are two aspects. Sometimes people may misunderstand also, because we cannot do offense outside, right? There is no Vaishnava Aparadha outside. When I go to corporate, there's no Vaishnava Aparadha, because they are, in that perspective, they are not Vaishnava. But we are staying with the devotees, there is every possibility that I may offend, because I'm dealing with the devotees. And what happens? That Vaishnava Aparadha puts me down. So now we should not think that, no, this ISKCON, if I come to Vaishnava Aparadha, so I'll not come to ISKCON at all. Because that is the only process I can improve, I can progress. Like there is in the ice, the Himalaya, there is a kind of animal, they have all the big kind of nail kind of this I forgot the name. So when they stay together, each one's this one pokes each other. They gives a pain, but they still stay together because they survive because of the heat of another animal. Otherwise, they'll die. Similarly, for us, if you stay outside the ISKCON, we will die in the Krishna consciousness. Our Krishna consciousness will take away. Our progress towards bhakti will go. But that devotee, even though sometime we may feel that he is giving a pain, actually he's not giving pain. He is purifying me. He is taking me to the next level. That is the understanding we should have. In his Holiness Bhaktirtha Swami Maharaj, in one of the lectures, he says, I would have repeated earlier also, he says, when we see a devotee, I should see him such that he is the one or she is the one will chant the holy name when I'm leaving the body. He will be there at the time of my leaving the body. So he's such a person who is going to do great favor to me. So I should treat that person such a honor and respect. So that's how I should treat other devotees. I remember Srila Prabhupada's one of the sannyasi disciple. So when initial days, Srila Prabhupada asked his disciples, he wanted somebody to go to Japan. So he asked, who will go to Japan? Nobody was willing to, it's an unknown country, and no language known. So one of the sannyasi disciple is raised his hand. Prabhupada, I will go. That Maharaj went and preached, did a lot of service. But due to some kind of circumstances, he left Krishna consciousness. But when that Maharaj raised his hand, Prabhupada was so pleased. Prabhupada immediately said that, I will take you back to the Godhead. Prabhupada made that statement. And after that, this Maharaj went to Japan, did preaching. Then due to circumstances, he left the Krishna consciousness. And later, he kind of got some very bad disease, cancer, something. He came back. Now, he went to his mother. Mother refused to accept him. Mother said, when you are young, you left me and went. Now, when you are deceased, when you are not able to do anything, you are coming to me? No, I don't want you. Get lost from there. So that's the time some of the devotees came to know that so-and-so person is there. They took this Maharaj to temple. They started, treating him. And in the temple, in front of the deity, he was sitting and devotees were chanting. At that time, he was almost in deathbed. So that time, all of a sudden, he said, Prabhupada, Prabhupada, and he left the body. So Prabhupada came that time, Prabhupada took him back. So this is the understanding. When we do little service, like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Swalpata, the even Trayato Mahato Bhagat, he says, so that Swalpa service to Prabhupada will not forget. Prabhupada will give right and much, much better, kind of reciprocation. So that's why we, at any cost, should not leave up ISKCON and be in ISKCON, serve Srila Prabhupada's movement. So that will take us to the next level. We'll read the next sloka. Somebody
Sudha
can read.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, I'm audible, Mataji.
Yeah, yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Alam pata shila dharo punakaro prishta paradhya vyatito dukkiteshu abhuta shatrur jagata shokaharta naidagikam tapam ivo durajaha. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. He will be a virtuously qualified reservoir of all good qualities. He will be jolly and happy in others' happiness, distressed in others' distress, and will have no enemies. He will be a destroyer of the lamentation of all the universes, like the pleasant moon after the summer sun. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Hare Krishna Mataji. So this is again the qualities or how Prahlad Maharaj. Again, as a practicing devotee, we should take this will be my kind of target, or this should be the my level I should reach. He will be virtuously qualified, reserve your good qualities. So as a practice devotee, as a Prabhupada Anugas, this should be my kind of aspiration. And he will be jolly and happy in others' happiness. Para dukkha dukhi, or para sukha sukhi, not para sukha dukhi. When others unhappy, I should not be enjoying, and when others happy, I should be happy, and when others are unhappy, I should be unhappy. Bhaktivinoda Thakur clearly says that we should always hanker to serve others, those who are in distress. Now, if you see in this material, Prabhupada says, this material world, everybody is unhappy. Some people may claim to be happy, or they verbally say, yes, I'm happy, but no, nobody is happy. As Krishna himself says, this place is full of dukkha and shashvata. So as a practice devotee, we should develop this quality. And not only that, we'll have no enemies. Is ajata shatru. So again, we should not develop any enemies. So this enemy is not outside, I'm talking about within our fellow devotees. That's the most important. Outside, sometimes people may envious of us because the various preaching activities, they may be, there's a possibilities, but we are not bothered about. But within the fellow devotees, we should be very, very careful. Like Yudhishthira Maharaj was considered Ajata Shatru, so he'll destroyer of lamentation of the universe. So Prabhupada always wanted everybody to preach. Preaching is essence, Prabhupada says that. So because when I preach, the distress of the society, people in the society, it can reduce, because when they understand the Krishna consciousness, they understand the message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, the power of the holy name, chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. When they realize it, when they chant, sometimes knowingly or unknowingly, even if they chant once Hare Krishna mantra, even if they touch Bhagavad Gita once, even if they recite one sloka, the lives, many lives sins are eradicated. So that is a mood in which the destroyer and lamentation of the all universe, like how Prabhupada established this ISKCON, where whole world can sit. I remember once Nelson Mandela, once he visited Johannesburg temple, he met devotees, and he was going around. He saw all the whites, blacks, Americans, Indian, Europeans, they all Africans, they were all sitting, eating and dancing, singing. So after that, he made a statement. He said that I spent 40 years in the jail to make this black and white together, but I failed. But this old man did it in 6 months' time. Srila Prabhupada, because his vision was to bring Krishna in the life. So when we give Krishna to somebody's life, everything can be, every problem can be solved. Like we see in Mayapur, I was told more than 4,000 devotees stay there, maybe now more than 125 country citizens, they live within Mayapur. So this is a real UNO, United Nations. No other United Nations can work like this. So that's the mood in which, as a practicing devotee, we should develop. So we'll move on to the purport. Somebody can read purport.
So Sumanlata Mataji, she has
Hare Krishna.
turned on her videos, so I'm giving her
Hare Krishna,
preference.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
pranams Mataji. Dandavat pranams Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. Prahlad Maharaja, the exemplary devotee of the Lord, had all good qualities humanly possible. Although he was the emperor of this world, he was not profligate. Beginning from his childhood, he was the reservoir of all good qualities. Without enumerating those qualities, it is said here summarily that he was endowed with all good qualities. That is the sign of a pure devotee. The most important characteristic of a pure devotee is that he is not lampata or licentious. And another quality is that he is always eager to mitigate the miseries of the suffering humanity. The most obnoxious misery of a living entity is his forgetfulness of Krishna. A pure devotee, therefore, always tries to evolve everyone's Krishna consciousness. This is the penance for all
Penance,
miseries. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandot pranams.
Srila Prabhupada's English only Prabhupada can bring in the dictionary. So, such a wonderful, Prabhupada here says how Prahlad's exemplary qualities and summarily is endowed with all good qualities. Again, as a practice devotees, my aspiration to develop even a small percentage of that qualities. That should be my aspiration. Even small 0.0001% of that qualities, that will definitely take me close to the Supreme Lord. So this is a sign of pure devotee, says. Again, as Sir has said, who is a pure devotee? Pure devotee, whoever chants the holy name once is a pure devotee, but at the same time, I cannot call myself as a pure devotee. So the last 47, 48, 49, 50, and the next, the theme is that I'm not that devotee. Everybody else is a devotees. Everybody else is a pure devotees. I'm not that devotee. Even Srila Prabhupada's, in one of the conversation, somebody has asked Prabhupada, so are you a devotee? He says, no, I'm trying to be devotee. I'm aspiring to be devotee. Even in another conversation, when one of the disciples came and complained, Prabhupada, that devotee is doing this devotee doing this. He was complaining about so many other devotees. Prabhupada gravely asked, who is devotee here? I'm the only one devotee here. I gave you devotee. I made you devotee. The point is that we need to understand my level. When I understand my level, and then I behave accordingly. So Prabhupada says he is not lampata. Yes, he is not kind of a what is that duplicity. It's not that, and the quality is eager to mitigate misery, suffering the humanity. This is the point I am trying to drive. So you should be eager to mitigate the miseries of suffering. It's again coming back to the preaching, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted whole this universe, Nagaradi Grama, this holy name. Mahaprabhu says, Bharata Bhumite Hoile Janma Kar Sartaka Kar Paropakara. Yare deko tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. So that eager to mitigate the suffering, the humanity, that's the mood of a devotee. And same point, Lord Krishna also says, 18 chapter 68 and 69, he says that one who propagates my holy name, this message, is so dear to me. And I'll guarantee you, he'll come back to me. Now, if all of us as practicing devotees, our goal is to go back to Krishna, so process is very simple. I have to practice, but I have to preach. I have to give this to holy name to, and this message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam to others. So miseries of the holy suffering of the society has to be mitigated. That should be the mood, and that should be the objective of every practicing devotee. And Prabhupada says the most obnoxious misery of living entity is to forgetfulness of Krishna. So Krishna is there in everybody's heart. Krishna's Paramatma is there. It's only me has forgotten it, forgotten that consciousness. That's why Prabhupada says International Society for Krishna Consciousness. I should be conscious of Krishna. Once somebody is told Prabhupada, sometime I forget Krishna. So he says, no, you should sometime forget. You sometime only remember, balance time you forget. So that's the difference. So it's not that I forget sometime. I always forget Krishna. Only sometime I remember. When some senior devotees, somebody makes me remember, I remember. Otherwise I forget. That forgetfulness has to be gone. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So that should be the quality I should develop. And further says, pure devotee therefore always tries to evoke Krishna consciousness. This is the panacea for all miseries. So that is a real solution for all the miseries of the human world. Next verse we can read.
Yeah, Anita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanapranams. So shloka number 50. Antarbahishchamalamajanetram Swapurushe chanugrihitarupam पौत्रस्तव श्रीललानाललामं दृष्टा स्फुरत् कुण्डलमण्डिताननम्. Thank you, Mataji.
Translation.
Translation, I think two of them are there, Mataji, so I think they can go ahead.
Yeah, Mataji, Anita Mataji, you read.
Okay. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation: Your grandson will be able to see inside and outside the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose wife is the beautiful goddess of fortune. The Lord can assume the form desired by the devotee, and his face is always beautifully decorated with earrings. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada also somebody can read.
Janki Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandatanam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandatanam.
Hare Krishna.
Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It is predicted herewith that the grandson of Diti Prahlada Maharaj would not only see the personality of Godhead within himself by meditation, but would also be able to see him personally with his eyes. This direct vision is possible only for one who is highly elevated in Krishna consciousness, for the Lord is not possible to see with material eyes. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has multifarious eternal forms such as Krishna, Baladev, Sankarshana, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Vasudeva, Narayana, Rama, Narsimha, Varaha, and Vamana. And the devotee of the Lord knows all these Vishnu forms, those Vishnu forms. A pure devotee becomes attached to one of the eternal forms of the Lord, and the Lord is pleased to appear before him in the form desired. A devotee does not imagine something whimsical about the form of the Lord, nor does he ever think that the Lord is impersonal and can assume a form desired by the non-devotee. The non-devotee has no idea of the form of the Lord, and thus he cannot think of any one of the devotee mentioned form. But whenever a devotee sees the Lord, he sees him in a most beautiful decorated form, accompanied by his constant companion, the goddess of fortune, who is eternally beautiful. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna. So here again, Prahlad's glories and purport Prabhupada says that how the Lord is reciprocating. So as a pure devotee, he sees inside and outside. He sees Lord not only inside, he can see the Lord externally. But Lord's vision is normally not. Prabhupada says direct vision is possible only for one who has highly elevated in Krishna consciousness. So again, that should be our mood. That's why Acharya says when we go to the temple to see the Lord, I should not go in the mood of seeing the Lord. I should go in the mood that Lord sees me. So otherwise, deity, I can see the deity, but I may not see the Lord. So we have to develop that mood. So we have to develop our consciousness such that, you know, we are able to see the Lord and Lord is able to see me. So Lord has to desire to serve the Lord, serve the devotee. Like but this one, Brahma Samhita says, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. So that my eyes should be with a prema of serving the Lord. Premanjana Churita. So that's the mood in which, because my naked material eyes, I'll not be able to see the Lord. I can see maybe the deity, but that Lord's presence, I'll not be able to realize it unless I develop that consciousness. That my Krishna consciousness has to be developed. Now, Prabhupada also explains here, depending upon my consciousness, depends upon my mood and which form of the Lord I'm kind of aspiring. That Lord will reciprocate accordingly. But that's not the kind of point for practice devotee for us. For us, you know, level is that how I should develop my consciousness to see the Lord, and Lord should reciprocate. That will happen when I start to simply menial service. When I start doing the menial service, when I start doing the service to the fellow devotees without offending, without any offenses, and chanting the holy name, and fellow devotees are pleased, my seniors are pleased, my Gurudev is pleased, that's where I'll be able to see the Lord. We'll read next sloka, then we'll try to conclude with the Srila Prabhupada purport.
Krishnamurti Prabhu.
Hare Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Shrutva Bhagavatam Pautram Amodata Dhite Brashnam Putrayoscha Vadham Krishnat Vidiswasmin Mahamanaha.
Translation.
Translation by A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. The sage Maitreya said, hearing that her grandson would be a great devotee and that her sons would be killed by Krishna, Diti was highly pleased in mind. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Purport also somebody can read. Last one.
Kishori Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandapana. Diti was very aggrieved to learn that because of her untimely pregnancy, her sons would demons and would fight with the Lord. But when she heard that her grandson would be a great devotee and that her two sons would be killed by the Lord, she was very satisfied. As a wife of a great sage and the daughter of a great Prajapati, Daksha, she knew that being killed by the personality of Godhead is a great fortune. Since the Lord is absolute, his acts of violence and non-violence are both on the absolute platform. There is no difference in such acts of the Lord. And violence and non-violence have nothing to do with the Lord's act. A demon killed by him attains the same result as one who attains liberation. After many births of penance and austerity, the word Brishma is significant herein because deity was pleased beyond her expectation. Thus, in the Bhaktivedanta purport,
Canto 3, 14 chapter of Bhakti Shrimad Bhagavatam called entitled Pregnancy of Diti in the Evening. Okay, so here,
thank you,
Mataji. Maitreya finally concluding that with hearing this, even though initially Diti was kind of sad that son will be killed, but when she heard that son will be killed by the Supreme Lord, she was happy. So again, Prabhupada says, but when she heard that grandson would be great devotee, that's more happy. So anyone in the family, when becomes devotee, the whole generation gets benefit. Same point we hear from Lord Narasimhadev when Prahlad asked. Narasimhadev says, forget your father. Generations are delivered. So anyone takes up Krishna consciousness, the whole generation takes benefit of it. Now, as a practicing devotee, we should also conscious of here. When we do offense, when we aparad, when I fall down, other generation also affects. That's also most important point for me. Of course, my guru affects, and even my generation of forefathers also affect. So that should be, I should be very, very careful not to commit offense. And finally, Prabhupada says that, so the violence and non-violence is no different from the Supreme Lord point, but in the mundane, it will have a difference. Supreme Lord give us right kind of message through the violence or non-violence. We may consider it as a violence, but it's not violence. Killed by the Supreme Lord, it's a mercy. So that's what Diti is kind of expressing her happiness here. With this, I'll conclude. The point we learned here is that the great qualities of Prahlad is explained by Kashyapa, but that qualities as a practicing devotee, I should aspire to develop those qualities so that I can serve the Supreme Lord and the fellow devotees without any offenses, so that I can develop my Krishna consciousness and qualify to take up my bhakti nicely and achieve my life success. With this, I'll stop here. If any mistakes from my end, please forgive me. And if any corrections, please go ahead and do it. Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, Dandavat.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Wonderful class. Actually, I was also writing so many notes. So thank you so much, Prabhu. Two things which were very, very important, because we are hearing about mercy so much, like causeless mercy, mercy of the Lord. And today you have explained it so nicely that mercy is something which we do not deserve, but we are getting it. So thank you so much, Prabhu. And also a devotee, that we are never a devotee, everyone else is a devotee. So we should actually practice this thought. So thank you so much, Prabhu. Any questions?
You gave me the mercy today.
No, Prabhu, it's not me.
Which
It's
I don't
ICF
deserve.
actually. ICF has, giving this platform to everyone. Ashish Prabhu is also here. So thank you. Thank you to Ashish Prabhu and ICF. Yeah. Any questions? Yeah. I can see Suman Lata Mataji. Yeah, Suma Mataji, please.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams, Prabhuji, for guiding us
Mataji.
on the right way, Prabhuji. Because, Prabhuji, we have got the mercy, Prabhuji. And the same way we want this mercy to continue, Prabhuji. So my question is that, is it only for Prahlad Maharaj that the God has given the benediction for 21 generations will be liberated? So what about, we are not devotees, but still we are practicing devotees. We are chanting. So will that benefit all our kids and their, coming parampara? I mean, what is that, Prabhuji?
100% Mataji, 100%. Prabhupada has confirmed this. So mercy of the Lord. We see that, many boys today, we can see some brahmachari's life. When they take a Krishna conscious, whole generation to transform. Practically we see that, and definitely this is confirmed by Prabhupada. Everybody gets, as soon as you start taking Krishna consciousness, the whole upward, downward, everybody gets a benefit, Mataji. Don't worry about it. Prabhupada's words are cannot be kind of ignored.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Padma Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Wonderful
Hare
class,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. We got so many intakes. Now, in reference to that question which Suma Mataji asked just now, the forefathers get relieved only if you're a pure devotee. That's what I have heard. So, can you comment that, Prabhuji?
Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that who is a pure devotee? Whoever chants the holy name once is a pure devotee, says. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defines the who is a devotee in I think the discussion with Sanjay Khan or somebody, I forgot the name. He says initial stage, he says whoever chants the holy name once is a devotee, says. So as I said, this Bhaktivinoda Thakur's understanding that so that whoever chants the holy name is a pure devotee. Maybe is Kanishta, but is a pure devotee. So, but the benefit, I should not think that I'm a pure devotee. I should not think that I'm devotee. The same class, one of the discussion, Prabhupada giving this class points. One kind of I'll not say atheist or very kind of angry young man. Prabhupada talks about first class devotee, second class devotee, third class devotee. That devotee is, which class are you? Prabhupada is, I'm a fourth class. So that is a mood Prabhupada takes. So the point is that definitely we don't claim ourselves a pure devotee, but the devotional activity, when you take on it, the benefit comes. Definitely everybody gets a benefit.
Yes, Prabhuji, we have to always be humble and think we are the lowest. Yes,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Mataji. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Because in most of the classes also, and when we read also, everybody says, so you have to become a pure devotee. Only then, that happens, this happens. So that's why, what is the stage that we have to reach to be a pure devotee? We are doing so much. Mangalarti, chanting, trying hard, Prabhuji. So what is that? What's the level of pure devotee? That's why I asked you this question.
So, yeah, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's books, if you read, further he says, who is a pure devotee? There's a different levels. As soon as somebody sees you, they get the transcendental bliss. By seeing you, they get a bliss. They get the consciousness. That's the level we should develop. So, of course, Prabhupada says we don't have to kind of imitate this. We have to just practice what Prabhupada says. That's enough. But all things will happen.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Haribol.
Dandavat, Haribol.
Yeah, Vasudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Mataji.
Amazing class, Prabhuji. We are blessed today to have your association. And actually, in the lecture, you told one statement that when we are in trouble, we should think of the Lord. But practically, day-to-day life, the things, situations will come in such a way that we will drain out. But at that point, it's very difficult to chant or think of the Lord itself, Prabhu. Can you please guide us to overcome this? Thank you.
I think 10th canto Krishna says, no, Tesham bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam. He says, one who serves me with the love, I'll give the intelligence. And yeah, I think somewhere I also heard that he says that even if you forget, I'll give the memory, I'll give right time. So we don't worry about that. Just as a practice devotees, as Prabhupada Anugas, our duty is just follow Srila Prabhupada's instructions. Just chant nicely, attentively, follow regular principles, serve the fellow devotees, serve the deity. I think the rest will be taken care by Prabhupada and his mission. So don't have to worry about that. So that's what my statement will be.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Ashish Prabhu? Okay, he's not there. I think he was saying something. He's in office. Okay, Prabhu.
Okay.
So we'll end the class here. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hari bol
Thank you,
pranam.
Matasya.
Pranams to all the devotees. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patithanam Koti Vaishnavindiki
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much,
Krishna.
Prabhu.
Dandavat
All
pranam,
wonderful
Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the
Sure.
class.
Lot of realization. Thanks, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, I'm ending the session. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.